Hey everyone, I'm Deb Keyes with Stampin' on the Hill. Today we're going to talk about the Stampin' Up! Paper trimmer. I'm going to just switch right over and let you see. So this is the paper trimmer. Let's see if you can get it all. It's pretty long. No, paper trimmer. There you go. Anyway, it comes with both a cutting blade, which is a darker color, and a scoring blade, which is a lighter color. And for those of you who are new stampers, I'm just going to go through a couple of the basics. There are both metric and US measurements on here. So if the metric measurements kind of mess with your brain a little bit and you find yourself accidentally cutting incorrectly, I know some people will take a piece of washi tape and just put it right over the top of the metric numbers up here so that they only see the US measurement. Let's see, there are measurements partway through and then measurements again at the bottom down here, partway through and at the top. There are also measurements down the side of the, I don't know what you call it actually. It's the part that holds your paper in place. But, and then there's also an arm that pulls out so that you can cut longer sheets of paper. So this is kind of what you're seeing here. So you can measure out to here. When you measure this way, so if I want, this is an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. If I want it to be 10 inches long, I would measure to 10 here. And then I would swipe down with my cutter. Today we're not going to use the arm so much. I just wanted to point out its function. Today we're going to take our 8.5 by 11 sheet of white paper and we're going to turn this into 2 card bases by measuring at 5.5, which is half of 11. And we're going to cut that straight here. And then we're also going to score it. So I use the bottom of my cutter when I score. So let me try and put this up here so you can see. And so I'll measure out to a half of 8.5 is 4.25. We'll measure to 4.25 and run this up and down a few times. And then you'll see the fold there. You always want to fold this, whichever way you just indented it, you want to fold it that same direction. Usually use my bone folder for this. Set this aside a second and lay my bone folder down here. Get a nice crisp edge. And there you have your card base ready to go. All right, we'll move those aside a second. And I also want to show you, okay, so we've done the cutting, we've done the scoring, we've done the arm, we've done the measurements, how you can see all the measurements. And we've done an 8.5 by 11 turned into 2 card bases. So I also wanted to just quick show you the way that you can use the blade. It's got, I don't know if you can see it on here, but it's got a little line on the side here and on the side here, so you can see start and stop where the measurements are. Let me show you. So I took this piece of this. This is cut already at 4 by 5.25, and I want to make a border, an inside border. So I'm going to measure this at 1 here. And I'm going to move my measurement to 1 here. I'm going to go from 1 inch in to 1 inch from this side, which at 5.25 would be 4.25. So I'm going to move that down to 4 1/4. And then we're going to rotate it, and we're going to go 1 inch again, and 1 inch again there. And now this is 4, so we're only going to go to the 3 mark. Okay, this is a little difficult left-handed. And then 1 again. And we're just going to do this all the way around. So 1 inch to the 1 1/4 on the long side. And 1 more cut. Yeah. You'll notice I'm kind of holding it off the paper while I'm adjusting where I want it to lay down, because otherwise you're going to get a hole in your paper someplace you didn't really want it. And this is to the 3 mark. So this may not come out exact, but not bad. And grab our paper snips a minute and make that. There we go. So now we have a frame. I'm going to move the cutter to the side here a minute. And I'm going to show you, I've also done this already to a black piece of cardstock. And I made it 1/8 of an inch bigger, I guess, so that I can layer these together as a frame. Like that. I'm going to grab some glue here and glue these together a minute for you. Show you what a completed card kind of looks like. I'm going to make sure I get the inside and the outside. These both started out as the same size, so I'm just going to layer them together. And now we've got what looks like a frame in the inside. So I also I've used Pale Papaya in Memento Black. Quite a glare here. Sorry about that, people. And I've already done the stamping. I've used the Dragonfly Garden and Artistically Inked stamp sets. So I used this portion here after I used this portion here. And you can see that I stamped the background in the papaya, and then I stamped in Memento right over the top of that. And what I'm going to do is put my frame over it, like so. But I'm going to use some dimensionals on there. And I want to keep it so that it pops up from the center and doesn't sag down in there. So we're going to kind of use a few here and there. And we'll just put those on with a couple of dimensionals as well. And we'll add it down here. So there's our card. I hope you learned something, and I hope if you don't already have a paper trimmer, you will order the Stampin' Up! Paper trimmer.